Disgusting is the word. That's Claire Foy talking about Matt Smith. She admitted that it was a struggle to watch him on the House of the Dragons because the Crown actress felt that she disagreed with him in many scenes. Now, even though the two are very close friends, she found his character on the show quite disgusting to watch. And she told him that in so many words, which is really what friends are for.
Hey, Prince Philip. I thought, oh God. And then she said, have you got any advice for him?
Foy did watch the whole show though. The actress said it took a lot of commitment on her part to finish watching the whole thing. Frankly, it was all over for her by the end. Like, she was done. She found Daemon Targaryen's antics pretty disgusting to watch.
In the backyard, and then just kind of came inside and asked if he had a bottle of wine.
Even if she disagreed with his character through most of the show, she does want us to know that she's still a committed friend to Smith. In fact, the two have been good friends since 2019. They worked together on The Crown for its first 2 seasons, but what really fast-tracked their friendship was a breakup.
The red carpet and all that. Of course. Yeah, but he was only a prince then, so he was like small. He was
yeah, at that point. And then
when Smith's 5-year relationship with Lily James of Downton Abbey ended, it was Foy who was really there for him.
We've got a guy on set called Major David who only recently stopped working at the Palace. He worked there for a very long time.
And the two co-stars spent quite a bit of time together in their neighborhood of North London. The two Crown stars also appeared together on stage in an acclaimed production of Lungs at the Old Vic in London.
Just that the dialect coach, William, who's amazing, came up with a way of us getting into it, as it were.
But let's come back to Smith's character on the House of the Dragon. Not gonna lie, the character is a pretty slippery one. And that's actually a mild way of describing a character who's cruel and callous. He's basically the notorious bad boy who is a rogue in every possible way possible, and yet he's quite the colorful character too. But let's not forget that he did murder his first wife, Lady Rhea Royce, and appears at events out of nowhere, having just killed someone or about to kill someone else. And he literally stressed his brother to death. Sure, it's probably stressful being King Viserys, but his brother really put him through the ringer. Daemon also mocked Viserys' son's death and slept with his daughter. And incest wasn't even the worst part of that situation.
I was frightened. I was 4 and 10.
It was the fact that he manipulated and seduced his niece, Rhaenyra. Okay, so maybe incest is the most disgusting thing here, but the way he flirts with his niece is so out of character for him that it's even creepier. At some point you feel, oh, maybe he does have actual feelings for her, but then you realize, nope, he's an arrogant schemer who is generally horrible to all the women in his life. Remember the time he took her to a brothel and gave her a bit of alternative education on the birds and the bees? He goes on to kiss her too. This seduction spree was also tactical, to be honest. After she's been around him, he tells her father, who also happens to be his brother.
Alicent demanded you declare for Aegon.
Basically, he's telling the king that now no one will want her, and he'll have no choice but to marry her as his brother. Now, viewers of Game of Thrones are no strangers to scenes of incest, but they're still shocked by Daemon's antics, as they were stunned by his racy jaunts in the very first episode.
The island's perimeter, looking for any small ships that might set ashore. If the Greens attack now...
The tryst with his prostitute mistress, Mysaria, basically dropped my jaw to the floor, really setting the tone for what to expect from this guy. Let me jog your memory a little bit. It's that scene where we see a naked Daemon stopping action as he thinks about the possibility of his brother, King Viserys, replacing him on the throne.
Summon Sir Stefan. Our Kingsguard are needed on the Dragonland. Come with me.
This is also probably one of those instances on the show that Claire Foy found disgusting, but he's just one of those characters that viewers love to hate and watch. He's a bad guy, but he's so damn good at what he does. His character is in that really fluid gray area where the viewer gets to decide how they love or hate him.
Man, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms.
And that's the signature of Matt Smith's performance. But the actor wasn't really convinced of taking on the role.
Amazing.
Yeah, great.
Woman up from there in heart.
Isn't my turn?
Is it your turn? Yes, it is your turn.
That's right, Matt Smith almost passed it up. The British actor was actually reluctant to take up the Game of Thrones prequel. Apparently, he was in the car park when he got the call from his agent asking him if he wanted to be on the show, and his immediate response was actually negative.
Makeup for like 6 hours, not a scratch on him. Do you know what I mean? He's been there since like R3, I turn up.
Smith thought that the Game of Thrones fever had run its course and any kind of spin-off would just be extra at this point. He admitted that he had seen way too many prequels and sequels fail to take the risk with this one. And fresh off the success of The Crown, he didn't really want to taint his reputation.
Impeccably dressed, and I went, you're very well dressed, and he went, no, you're very well dressed, and I went, you've got marvellous shoes, and he went, actually, you've got...
But it seems the producers were hell-bent on getting him on board. The showrunners said that his name was at the top of their list. Miguel Sapochnik and Ryan Condal said that since they first started thinking of actors to play the character, Smith has been a part of the process. And his name kept coming up, even when they were considering other actors. That's when they realized that he was exactly the man they wanted for the job. Condal even admitted that he was a big fan of his performance on The Crown, and he had seen all he needed to see to know he was perfect for the role of the volatile yet charming prince.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of a sword nerd myself, and so I was
Clearly, the charming prince is something Smith excels at, and it was the persistence shown by the showrunners that led to Smith eventually accepting the role. The Doctor Who actor said that once he went for the screen test, that was it for him. He just couldn't say no.
The second tour. Yes. And we went to Plymouth and to Scarborough and to...
But there was more to it than just the showrunner's persistence. Smith said that he really wanted to work with actor Paddy Considine. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he said that he was aware that Considine had already been offered the role of King Viserys.
We'd just come out of the first lockdowns and I was doing an independent film in Dublin, just outside Dublin.
So now he had his chance of being able to work alongside an actor that he looked up to. But there were other elements to the character of Damon that lured him in. First of them was the relationship he has with his brother, and the fact that overall he was a brilliant character with so much complexity and color, and best of all, he liked the ambiguity of nature. One never really knows what he's going to do. Smith was also attracted to how ruthless the prince was. It's no secret that he loves playing badly behaved royalty.
We did work out that technically, I mean, I'm not, but I am, on the other side of the family, her great.
There's also a visceral honesty about the character that's hard to miss. While Smith ended up loving the role of Damon, the audience wasn't as sure, mostly because they were all used to seeing him in other iconic roles.
He sailed home to Driftmark.
Who holds the stepstones?
The tides.
And at the age of 40, he's had not one but two such roles. Between 2010 and 2013, he was the 11th incarnation of Doctor Who. From 2017 to 2019, he played Prince Philip on The Crown. And to think that he would have almost been a footballer, but the question that remained was whether audiences would be able to see him as anyone but Prince Philip.
The time and everyone's watching and then, and it just keeps going wrong and it's tough.
The actor said he had faced the same question as he transitioned from Doctor Who. In fact, he said that disappearing into the role is exactly what's required. One has to really get into it and shut out all the outside noise. Besides, Smith really feels like he is connected with Damon's character. Luckily, the show has been renewed for the second season, and Matt Smith will most likely be returning to the cast. Were you also disgusted by Matt Smith's character? See you guys in the next video.